Hello everyone, I'm very much happy today because I'm here with a very good information, and this information people have been asking over and over, and it's one simple question but it's a very complicated one, especially for the winners of the green card lottery. And I want to break down to you so that you can be able to understand how much money do you need to have to prepare for all the things you need to cover before you come to America. Because people are asking me, so if I win, who is going to pay for my visa? Are they going to pay for my flight ticket? Who is going to pay where I'm going to stay? All those kind of things. So I've been answering them over and over, but I think it will be a very good idea for me to go ahead and just give you the overview of how much you need to have as direct money you have right now before you get into the plane to come to America. Because there are two types of costs. There are costs you need to have before you come to America. We call the processes until the day you get into the plane. And then there will be the costs you need to have upon arriving into the United States and going forward. So these are two costs which I'm going to cover on this one. That means you can get the picture, and if you want to prepare the resources in case you win or you're already the winner of this lottery, you know for sure it's not a free lunch on the silver plate you are given because of that. Welcome everyone, this is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, EBM, and the founder and the CEO of the EBM Scholars. Welcome to the EBM family, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can be able to get the notification, and you can see, you can subscribe and click the notification bell so that when I post the video, you get notification direct, comes to your cell phone, comes to your email, whatever it is, you can be able to follow right away on the good content I'm sharing. So let's go ahead into explaining these two aspects of the resources you need to have. As I said, the first part of the video will be talking about what resources you need to have, how much you need to prepare before you get into the plane, and what are the resources or how much money you need to have upon arriving into the United States to start your life here in America. So before I continue with everything, I want to make something very clear. We are talking about the green card. People don't understand what is the green card, what is the purpose, what is the overall benefit of the green card. I'll make a separate video for that, but just in a very high level. And make it very simple. Green card is the permanent residence of the United States of America. Once you get that card, it means for the rest of your life, obviously, if you don't become a citizen, you'll be, after every 10 years, you can renew the card without any interview. You just renew the card, just like a driving license. You can renew the card, but you will not go back to your country or to the US Embassy to ask for the visa if you want to come to America. So you can travel, for instance, you go back to your country in Ghana, back to your country Tanzania, back to your country to Kenya, back to your country Liberia, but you don't need to go to the US Embassy if you want to fly to come back to America. You just get into the plane, you come back to America. You'll continue to be a citizen of your country, but you are permanent resident of the United States of America. So with that card, you will be allowed to work in US to almost every employer except obviously federal government, because most of the federal government jobs require US citizenship. And there is no limitation of hours. How many hours do you need to work? Because most of the jobs, most of the visa status, they have restriction of the number of hours you need to be able to work. For instance, if you're a student, you are not allowed to work more than 20 hours per week. And the location on campus, unless otherwise the school is closed. That's some of restriction. If you are maybe working under H1 visa, you must work on employer who sponsored you. But with a green card, you can work for 3 jobs, different employers, in 24 hours. If you want to work all the hours, is up to you. So those are the benefits of the green card, just in a very high level. But for that case, the US government gives you green card if you win the green card by lottery. But they are not going to give you everything else. So don't ask me, are they going to give me the job? Are they going to give me the house to stay? No, they are not going to give those kind of things. So that's why this video is very crucial to know how much money you need to prepare yourself. So I'm starting with, you have won the green card lottery. What are the costs you need to process until the day you get into the plane? These are the following costs. Cost number 1 is visa fee. This visa fee is the same amount of money for all countries around the world. So whether you are in Liberia, whether you are in Ghana, whether you are in China, whether you are in Lebanon, whether you are in Tanzania, whether you are in Ethiopia, you are in Dubai, Qatar, you are in Algeria, it doesn't matter which part of the world you are going to pay the same amount of the money. The visa fee is 330. So write down the first cost amount of money you need to have is the 330 for visa fee. And again, people are asking, so when I'm filling the visa form, the DS-260, which I've been talking over and over, am I going to pay at that time? No. When you are filling the DS-260 form, you don't pay anything. It's a free form. You fill it online. Once you fill, when you go to the visa interview, that amount of money, 330, you pay at the US Embassy. Never pay that money to anybody, not to me, not to any guy in Western Union, not to any person in any other form. You are going to pay in US dollar exactly 330 at the US Embassy. That's number 1, fee. But before you go to the visa interview, once you get the visa, we call it the second notification from the KCC. The first notification is you have won the DV lottery. Is the first letter of notification. Second notification is that letter you are going to be told, like, this day is your interview date. But in order to go for the interview, you have to do the medical. Remember, this cost I'm going to put down, I'm putting the cost down as a single person, unmarried, no kids, no anybody. So the same cost will be applying for number of people will be coming together. And when I say number of people, not your aunt, not your grandmother, is you, your spouse, and your kids. So even if a child is 1 day old, must get the visa, must pay for the visa fee, 330. So I'm putting the numbers as one single person, unmarried, no children, no any other dependent. So we'll be adding this one or multiplied by number of people will be coming together. So then, once you have the notification for the interview date, you'll be supposed to do the medical. In the medical, almost around the world, even here in the US, is ranging between 350 to 450, very few places up to 500, but most likely will be 350 to 350 to 400 or 450. There are standards of certain particular doctors are supposed to the one authorized by the US Embassy in your country to do the medical. When I did my medical on getting green card, even if it's green card by marriage, you have to do the same process. So I did it the same way, and I paid it 350 back in 2011, I think. Yeah, I think that a long time ago. But the same amount you'll be able to pay. So again, that is for price for one person. What are they going to test? There are certain things they are going to test. But the bigger one, there are certain diseases that have been eradicated in the United States, like tuberculosis. So what if you get you are tested and you find you have tuberculosis? You have two options. The bigger option, they will tell you they are not going to deny you to come to America. Go and treat tuberculosis, and once you are done with that, you know for sure you don't have, you are going to be given the visa. You cannot be able to come. Or unless others, you have to purchase health insurance already, and you have to prove everything that once you arrive, you are going to be treated. But in most cases, they prefer to be treated before you come, because in the US we don't issue anymore the tuberculosis vaccination, because it has been eradicated so many years ago. So they cannot bring that situation here in America. So it's something you have to consider. They're not going to test you coronavirus. They're not going to test you HIV/AIDS. They are not going to test those ones. But obviously with the COVID-19, obviously for the rest of the year, even next year, they will be testing everybody coming at the airport. So that is not the job of at the embassy, because even if they test you, I'm giving an example, you are tested today, you are going, but if like after the interview, you get sick before you come to America. So that is a different story. So they're not going to test that one, but the bigger one is the it is the TB, that is the bigger one, what I know, but the rest is just the normal things they are going to check. So that one is around 350 to 400 or 450 sometimes. So add that one for one person. Apart from that, that is the second medical, is that amount. Then, once you did the medical, you've done the visa interview, you have paid for the visa fee, then you are given the actual visa stamp on your passport. So on your own, you'll already have the passport. So that is your personal cost, depending on each country. Some of the countries $100, some of the countries $50 to get the passport. So for one person, you must have your passport. Even if a child is 1 day old, must have the passport. So that is your personal cost. I'm not going to include here. You must have a passport in order to have the visa on your stamp, I mean on your passport. So don't tell me, oh, you know, with Corona, our government is shut down, is closed. We are talking about the V2021, for instance, in this situation. So obviously, if you applied, you have the passport. And even if you don't have the passport, you must get the passport. Once you win, get the passport as soon as possible. So then, you have done the interview, they give you the visa. You are advised, there is another fee, it's called 220 if not mistaken. It's called is a service fee. You are just paying for the actual card. The card itself. That amount you pay in US, you are paying in, you will be given a piece of paper with the address on the government link, how you can be able to pay for that one. You can pay for that one even before you come to America, or after arriving in America, you can be able to pay that one. If you pay for that one, is when they will release that the actual card. So the more you delay to get to apply, to send that money, is more you delay to get the actual card. But that will not affect you to get the actual card, will not affect you to start working. Once you have the visa, that visa is actual green card. So once you arrive in the US, but overall, even if you are here, just make sure that as soon as possible, you get that, either you pay before or you pay before, that means within a month, you get your actual card after arriving here. But if you delay, remember, the day you pay, after being in the US, you have at least a month. So that is 220. So you have 330 visa fee, 350 to 400. That will be another thing. It will be the medical. So that makes like almost 600 going to 400. Let's say 400. Then there is a 220. The actual card you are going to pay for. That is after getting the visa. So you put 220, so that will make at least almost 1,000 already. So that is the direct one. And then you are going to add the flight ticket. So the flight ticket, I've already made the video explaining about how much. That will depend on the place you are going to travel to America, will depend on what time are you going to travel. Like when you purchase the ticket today, are you traveling next week or 6 months to come or 4 months to come? So it will depend on so many factors, but most of the time, the flight ticket will be between 600 to 2,000 depending on where you are going, but in most cases you'll get like 900. That will be most likely you'll be getting maximum. So let's say 1,000 at least. So that will be at least 2,000. So the cost before you come to America will be average between 1,500 to 2,000. That will be around the cost before you come to America. So get on that one. Then we have the costs upon arriving. So these costs will depend on other factors. Where are you going to stay? Do you have a host? And if you have the host, what is the agreement between you and the host? So those I cannot be able to predict how much it will depend. It depends on, is your host, have you agreed how long are you going to stay? Are you going to stay there at least for 6 months? Are you going to stay there for 1 month? Then you move on. And what is the agreement you have? Are you going to pay for rent, or is just free, you stay there? So that agreement will determine how much you need to have on that aspect. I cannot determine on that one. But the other thing which you need to know, even if you have the host, obviously you need to have with your own money. You need to have the money to start your life. You cannot depend on everything. So at least for me, if you are single, you have at least extra 2,000. That will be something good to start with. That means you can be able to survive for 2 months, 3 months while you are getting used to work and other things. And the job you can get as soon as possible within 2 weeks, because you have to get the social security number, get the ID, and you can start working as soon as possible. So within 2 weeks to 3 weeks, you can start getting the job, you can start getting paid. But I'm giving just like to get used so much stuff, at least 2 months, then you can be able to go and find your own life. So I'm putting the 2 months as if you are not working for 2 months. That means you have at least 2,000 to start your own life, to survive here. So overall, to come here and starting the life for 2 months, you need at least 4,000 to 5,000. But that will depend also like which state you are going to stay in the US. Are you in New York, or you are in Missouri, Ohio, Texas, California, Hawaii? All those countries will be playing part of it. But these are some of the most important things to think about. What are the expenses you'll be needed to require? And once you have family, you are coming with your spouse, come with your children, then amount will keep increasing. You'll keep adding over and over. But overall, the place you'll be staying in America, your host will determine so many factors. If you'll be paying 500, or if you'll be paying 100, or if it's free, will determine how much money you need to have when you come here. But make sure that you fight and get a job as soon as possible, so that you can be able to survive and be able to handle your own life without any pressure from someone else. So those are some of the important things I want to share with you. The cost you need to have, how much money do you need to have to prepare before or until you fly, and after arriving in the US, to start with at least the first month, 2 months, before you start having a good job, getting your own money to continue with your life while you are here. So thank you so much, everyone. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Put the comment here asking question, what topic you want me to write, to talk about. I'll be happy to support you. So thank you, everyone, and enjoy your life. And welcome to the United States of America. In case you are the winner, write to me on my email or on the comment here. You are the winner, and I can get in touch with you and guide you in a proper way on how you can be able to succeed more and more. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.